When I started working as a nurse over 2 decades ago, I thought the worst nightmare would be having a case that I couldn't handle. But I've learned that the worst nightmare is actually navigating the daily demands of being a nurse. I was burnt out, tired, overworked, possibly had PTSD, but I sugarcoated it with multiple dopamine hits throughout the day. I found myself rushing to clock into work every day to avoid a write-up. I got called names just because I demanded a break and I wanted to eat my lunch. I couldn't turn my brain off because of all the beepings that was surrounding me. There was no quiet. I would feel guilty when I needed the time off or when I wanted to leave to go home on time. Vacation? What did that look like? Working 6 days prior and being exhausted on my trip? Or working 6 to 10 days afterwards, being exhausted from being on my trip? I've yet missed another Christmas, another Thanksgiving, birthday, milestones. Every weekend gone with the blink of an eye. When sometimes my best can cause a life. I would cry in silence, and when I'd show a brave face in front of everyone, it was like a war zone that never ended. And for me, that was just for me going to work every single day. I'd like to invite you into a possibility that where you can have the freedom to clock in when you want. Be present with your children, your loved one. No guilt, no call outs, no one yelling your name every 5 minutes. A place where you're able to make calls and a place where you can never have to miss another birthday or a special occasion. Weekends are truly yours. You've broken the golden handcuffs of being told what to do all the time. A place where your voice matters. A place where you're still making a global impact, making money with ease and flow, and taking your expertise of all the years of education and making it in your own unique way. My name is Bina Bendale. I left bedside on Labor Day 2022. I still remember the exact day, almost 2 decades of being a nurse, when I landed my first corporate partnership as a nurse coach that was worth roughly about $500,000. I initially loved nursing, but things started to break when I had kids. Not only did I have kids, but I had kids with special needs. And he was in the NICU, and I still had to go to work. I would get warnings and write-ups. I was always being told about making excuses while my first child was being faced his battles for his life upstairs. I was sent to the employee assistant program, and they didn't really know what to do with me. And I was like, really? You never had a nurse have a baby with special needs and be in postpartum? You've got to be kidding me. I struggled on because that was my job. And along the way, I had 2 more children. And guess what? They also were born with special needs. As I was at bedside, I gravitated towards families that came in with children with trauma. I became the person who became relatable to them, welcomed them, showed the families what to do. And I remember when my kids were around 7, 5, and 4, I really wasn't feeling if this was something I wanted to do long term. I felt like I was stuck in that loop of the nurse's worst nightmare. Until one day, I was talking to a friend, and she told me about this nurse coaching program. And I was like, what is that? So I looked it up and I realized, wow, this is what I've already been doing and who I've already became. So this thing lit me up throughout the day, and the rest was not really doing it for me anymore. So I made the choice to go in and get my certification. I went per diem at my nursing job, and I started the nurse coach certification. I became a school nurse, which I thought I can use my expertise to fill in the gap. And as I was finishing the certification, I realized, wow, it's a lot of work to get clients. But I was already thinking outside the box. So I was like, there has to be a better way, an easier way to reach out and get new clients. So I reached out to my network, made some calls, sent some emails out, and I landed my first corporate deal that's worth $500,000. And I thought to myself, why isn't anyone else doing this? And I thought, Somehow, people need to know there is a better way, an easier way. And I had the best moment of my life, besides marrying my husband, having children, and of course, landing this contract. I quit bedside completely. And now I help nurses who are looking for a change because they have also experienced that worst nightmare like me through what I call the Corporate Nurse Coach Accelerator, supporting you in your business side things along with balancing every aspect of who you are. Because now you're going to have time for it, to be that CEO, to be that super mom, that wife, and most importantly, helping you make the choices that you actually truly want to see and how life shifts for you. Here's the possibility for you and the world. When you have nurses who are not burnt out, but still making impact on people on a global basis, you get to do what you love. You get to do it on your terms. And when that happens, your work thrives, your family thrives, your bank account thrives, your friendship thrives, your kids thrive. But most importantly, you thrive because you deserve it. So I want you to take a moment right now and think about this one question. What would your life look like if you did exactly what you wanted to do without any restrictions? It might feel a little scary to think about it, but it's okay. That's why we're here. It's okay to feel the nervousness behind it because you are allowed to have this. What if you didn't decide and you waited until your kids were off to college to actually live the life you wanted? That is what happens. What would happen to your family and what would happen if you chose to do exactly what you wanted to do in this moment right now? Let that settle into your system for a minute. Let that settle into your body. My wish for you in this world is to hear this story and to realize that there's so much more possibility for you. It doesn't have to wait. Nurses all over the country are finding these opportunities to do what they love in their own terms. So can you. You can still make an impact in the world, do what you love, and be able to do it on your terms. You can find the balance of being a super mom, being a CEO, a nurse coach, with one-on-one clients, retreats, corporate partnerships. The world of possibility is endless. So if you're watching this video and you're navigating the nurse's worst nightmare, then my wish for you in this message is for you to realize maybe it's time for you to just wake up. Wake up and see the world. Thank you.